one of the professors I had in grad school, Scott Bates, he once said, like, when we're presenting information, particularly like on slides or something, like, are you presenting this information to share with your audience? Or are you presenting this information to share with yourself?
You've had a lot of focus on visualization recently, and I'd love for you to talk more about the importance of visualization and a little bit more about what you're doing in that space.
Yeah. So data visualization is generally some of the most powerful stuff you could produce as a data scientist. Sometimes literally one visualization can be like the deal maker, the deal breaker of a report. And the absence of one is usually very telling that, like, it's a weird thing to think about, but it's like, if you don't have a visualization, that it's like an incomplete report, which like is absolutely not true. You could definitely have reports that don't have visualizations that are completely complete. But it is something to be said that data visualization is very much valued by people who do not have expertise in either data or analytics or insights or whatever you want to call it. So having very clear, good, aesthetically pleasing, and simple data visualization is really important to be not just aware of, but like self-aware, because we can all point to like really good, aesthetically pleasing data visualization, like, oh, this has a clear trend, or this has clear correlations, or this represents this information very, very nicely or succinctly. But we, a lot of the time as data scientists, don't have that same self-awareness of like, hey, my graph is easy to interpret, or my graph is like, it doesn't have distracting colors, or I think it's good in one gigantic clump of colors versus separate into different pivots or something, or facets rather. So something for me that's really important is when you're reflecting on your data visualization, you can reflect either in the moment, like, let's give it a day and see if I like have the same interpretation the next morning about this. But you could also reflect like really long term. And something we're doing on my Twitch stream is we are I'm bringing guests on, and we are looking at really, really old data visualization that they put out maybe years ago. And I've done it a couple times now where like I've brought up stuff from like 7 to 9 years ago, and it's like absolutely horrendous looking stuff, like Excel sheets that are like color coded, that like have just
I'm
horrible
trying to find
colors.
one while we're on here.
Yeah, just horrible colors. And like ultimately the thing that I really cared about is like a column that I'm not even coloring. So there's aspects of data visualization where like and I'll steal this from one of the professors I had in grad school, Scott Bates. He once said, like, when we're presenting information, particularly like on slides or something, like, are you presenting this information to share with your audience? Or are you presenting this information to share with yourself? And I thought that was pretty important to hear, because it's similar in data visualization. Are you presenting data visualization to give to your audience to have a better insight or a better look into the data? Or are you really more so providing it for yourself as like a visual
Here's
representation of
proof of what we did.
notes?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Like, do you like how much is the data visualization really for someone else versus for you? And I think that's sort of like the start of it. And a lot of people, their first data visualization is like, this is data visualization for me. Like, I am plotting my data and like creating a visualization that is like my interpretation of what the data means. Um, but that's not necessarily like, quote unquote, the reason we want to use data visualization. We want to provide stronger insights and better communication tools using visualization or visual representation of data. And we have to think a little harder than like how I want to look at this data. We should be thinking like, how is this going to be interpreted? Or how is this going to be interpreted by someone who has no idea about the data? So in our process of like looking at really old data visualization to what we look at now, like my stuff from 10 years ago versus my stuff today, there's a vast difference, and there's a vast like clarity discrepancy of like, oh, this information's a lot clearer. This really presents the information in a way that like makes sense to people. This looks like I don't know.
How about this one? I just found this in some of my grad school stuff. Oh my God. You ready for this?
Let's see. Oh
It's not even
yeah.
on the page correctly.
What
What
is
the hell was I
this?
doing? I don't know.
Oh
This is
man.
for, I think we did a report for like Kate Spade or something. And oh
Oh,
my goodness, it's bad,
look
man.
look at that. I like the screenshots of tables with like
Yeah,
colors on
you
them.
gotta like that, right? I mean, this is, oh, look at that. Oh
What
yeah.
those triangles. Oh yes.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
Yeah. So
I'm
looking at
embarrassed. I need to get rid of that.
so but that's like a great example of like everyone will make plots just like that, right? Everyone
Yeah,
will start
at some
out,
point.
yeah, absolutely. Everyone's going to mess around with the, Excel chart wizard at some point and see a way to make your data, tell a story in a way that like not only like resonates with you, but like visually represents it in like a cool or a different way. And a lot of the cool ways that you initially think of are not great communication avenues that you should be taking. So yeah, on our channel, we're looking at how you've evolved from a person who does data visualization in the past to the person who does data visualization now, and what it took for you to get from one point to the other.